Happy Tuesday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Jaybird watching. Brandon Panikar is back with Craig, Chris, and Adam. The Blue Jays sit at 15-9, are playing the New York Yankees in their second of 3 games this week. And we're here to break it down, talk about last night, talk about the week that was, and set up the next week ahead before our next show. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Hopefully winning.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it more like winning?
Yeah. I will designate Adam or Chris as the official live updates as they come through because I can't watch it on mine. Craig, I know you're in the same position. Chris, I don't know if you have it on somewhere.
Yeah, I got it on. We're
killing me.
Okay, good.
Yeah. We're
live
good.
updates.
We're good.
Live updates.
I'm in.
Anyhow, the Blue Jays just came off.
The 1-0 pitch. Oh, sorry, not like that.
Oh yeah, can you
don't
just
go tabby on me?
Yeah. The Blue Jays just finished a 2-week stretch where they played nobody outside of the Boston Red Sox and the Houston Astros, and they finished with a 9-4 record. Who the fuck saw that coming? Because I know I certainly didn't.
Clearly
Craig,
none of us on the sheet.
That 2-week stretch, what impressed you the most, or who impressed you the most? You can answer that question either or both ways.
I got to say our bullpen. It's been standing out. I can't really say any one individual person other than obviously we're going to talk about one individual person at some point during this show this evening. But the fact that the bullpen really has stepped up to the fact that we have been having some very up and downsy starting pitching outside of like 2 individuals. So the fact that they've been able to just right the ship and continue to hold us in these ridiculously nail-biting, close, stress-filled games has been nothing short of amazing. And the fact that they keep doing that, and we appear to have maybe at the moment the current best closer in baseball, this is looking pretty damn good for the Blue Jays. And I got to give all my shout outs to the Blue Jays bullpen for the last couple of weeks.
Chris?
Yeah, it's got to be the pitching staff at this point because the bats are pretty damn cold minus George Springer. Nobody really seems to be contributing on that side of the ball at all. The defense is really good too. So to be a little bit different, I guess I'll say the defense because like Bo's had his ups and downs. I guess he's had a couple of questionable plays or just not having his glove down far enough. But for the most part, he's made fantastic strides. Vlad's looking amazing at first base this year. Espinal and Chapman have solidified the infield tenfold compared to what we had last year. And George Springer. How about George Springer out? Well, I guess the other day he was out in right field, but making all these late inning Superman-esque diving plays and keeping the team in it and making sure that things don't get terribly out of hand. But it's the pitching staff and the defense that are winning these games because it's certainly not anything to do on the offensive side.
Adam?
At risk of being repetitive,
Just say Santiago.
I was going to. Actually, I was really going to.
Wait, what?
Expectations have been pretty low walking in compared to what we saw last year offensively, and it still hasn't been great for Santiago Espinal in that regard, but it's still been serviceable. And we were talking about it before the show. It's a done deal. He's taken over second base. That's his job to lose now. I think if there's going to be someone that has welcomely surprised me, it's going to be Santiago Espinal. But to echo Chris's sentiments, I need to see a little bit more from the offense in general, outside of obviously Vladdy and George Springer. Particularly, I'm looking at Bo Bichette. I need to see a lot more from him. We had this discussion at length last week when it comes to how he's a cornerstone of this franchise, and I'm not necessarily too worried. I don't get overly concerned about players' performances in April, but if this continues in the month of May for Bo and he doesn't start to trend upwards, then I have some serious concerns. But overall, I don't know when the last time the Blue Jays did not lose a series in the month of April. Can't think of it.
Might be the first time it's ever happened.
That's what I'm saying. The worst they did was tie.
Right.
with the Yankees
Yeah.
in a 4-game series, but they did not lose a single series. And I
correct.
still include this past weekend because even though it bled into May, it started in
for
April.
sure.
So you got to be happy overall. Run differential is a thing. I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but overall, you got to be happy. And the expectations overall are, I think, right there for Blue Jays fans, what we thought we were going to walk into.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. It seems like the common theme, which is well documented, is offense. It's been quite inconsistent outside of, I'm going to say 2 or 3 guys. Espinal's been pretty good since day one with the bat, and as you said, Adam, a surprise. Vlad has been very steady, taking his walks when he isn't getting fed much pitches to hit, and George Springer has also been really good. But everybody else has had spurts here and there where it looks like they're starting to come out of it, and then they go back into a rut. And I can think of Matt Chapman, I can think of Bo Bichette, and a couple other guys who are supposed to be cornerstones on this offense to keep it going. I'd say Lourdes has been good. It feels like it's a little quieter than normal, kind of up and down exactly. But does that give you guys cause for concern going into the month of May? Because look, just looking at the schedule before we started, you have the Yankees for tonight, tomorrow, and then you go to Cleveland for 4 games. And Cleveland's been surprisingly good so far, and they do have some good pitching. Play the Yankees again, the Rays for 3, and the Mariners for 3. And then the Reds, you finally get the Reds in a break there. But the next couple weeks, it doesn't let up. And if you have an offense that is scuffling, to say the least, outside of 2 or 3 guys per night, and a pitching staff that, let's be frank, there's going to be some regression because they're not always going to win 1-run games like they have been so far. There will be more blown saves. There will be some more rough starts in the rotation because some guys are off to historically good starts. So, Chris, when is the offense going to heat up a little bit? Do you think maybe with because they were talking on the broadcast last night, the Blue Jays have faced some of the highest velocity in all of baseball, and that could play a part of it in terms of their slow start offensively. But when do you see this team, I guess, evening out a little bit? Because the pitching will come down, but the offense will come up, and that's what they will truly be at that point. When do you think that's all going to start to even out?
To make a comment on one of those points, I don't think velocity really plays a part in this because I don't think anybody in this lineup is terribly afraid of high velocity pitching other than like maybe Biggio was, where, well, I don't want to say afraid, but he struggled hitting high velocity up in the zone. Honestly, the offense started to go down a slippery slope once Teoscar got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's going to be the catalyst to help some things out. As for a timeline, though, if Teoscar doesn't kick things up, I don't want to say we're getting into panic mode quite yet, but like it's very concerning because there's zero signs of anything breaking out for any of these guys, really. Like Springer's been very steady. Vlad he isn't what he was last year. He's taking his walks, but he started really hot and he has cooled down a little bit. Bo is showing some signs of heating up the last 2 or 3 games. We're not going to see this crazy hot streak out of Collins. I think that was just a blip in the radar of a week of kind of an anomaly of things. Chapman, just if he's not striking out, he's popping up. He's completely lost at the plate for what's going on. I don't see signs of this snapping anytime soon, to be honest. There's nothing that suggests that it will.
Mm-hmm. Craig?
It's what the catalyst is going to be, is where I'm at right now. Is it Teoscar coming back? Is it going to be somebody moving around in the order? Is it going to be all of a sudden just watching Vlad actually get fucking pitches to hit? That would be the biggest thing right now. To your point, Chris, as soon as Teoscar wasn't anchoring the 4 spot right behind Vladdy, clear regression because they just weren't pitching to him, and he got a little swing happy for a little bit. Now he's back into the ballpark. At least he's swinging at the right pitches now. But you could see even in last night's game, Yankees had no interest in pitching to him in the 7th inning when they had none. And I don't blame him one bit. If you were going to get beat by somebody in the Toronto Blue Jays lineup right now, it's going to be Vlad Jr. Everybody else right now is a complete utter wild card. If they're going to swing hard in case they hit it, basically is what's going on, right? So to that point, if we aren't making that contact consistently around anybody in that part of the lineup, there's no way in hell we're going to get these spurts of 1-run games. And a random home run at the end of the ball game by Bo Bichette to win a ball game. Yeah, it's not going to be any of this stuff where it's going to be just consistently streaming through pitching staffs like we thought it was going to be. But this roster's not constructed the way that this was meant to be as we are all currently sitting. What was it tonight that Ramil Tapia's batting in the 5th spot again?
Looking at it right now, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't the design out of spring training.
And he's hit cleanup once too.
Ugh, nightmares. So, but it's going to get better. I really think that they have the pieces coming back. And I honestly wonder how much Danny Jansen will play into that too once he finally heads back. Even just as somebody to turn the lineup over at the end.
Adam?
Echoing everything, again, what you guys have said about the main producers of the lineup. Overall, I'm not overly concerned. I think Vlad not having the start that he's, we expected him to have. Well, I mean, in the beginning he did, but I would say the overall month of April. And Craig, you sort of alluded to this. He's not getting pitches to hit. I don't think that
as soon as he does, though.
Yes, and or he's going to really tap into his dad, and be able to hit anything.
Hit balls that bounce in front of the plate.
Yeah, I maybe he's not there yet. Maybe he's a little bit spoiled for just pitchers trying to beat him, and he did.
I don't think he grew up playing cricket like his father. Just saying.
I mean, that's an innate ability, man. I'm sure he'll be able to figure it out. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard for me to complain. It's really hard for me to. You can poke holes in the lineup and you can say that things can be better, and they absolutely can. But at the same time, it's really hard for me to complain, seeing as though where they are in the AL East, still behind the Yankees. But at the same time, this is the month that you have to turn it on. And Brendan, I think this is where you were going with this. That you're right. The only team that doesn't give me pause in the month of May are the Reds. Every single other team. Yeah. You're going to have your work cut out for you.
Baseball.
Yeah, you're going to have, Cleveland, like you said, Brendan, is no slouch. Then you have the Yankees again. Tampa Bay, we just never know. Seattle could be pretty good. Yep. St. Louis is always good. Anaheim, I don't even know. I would imagine we're going to see Ohtani pitch one game. Hopefully. I mean, I kind of just want to see it in general.
Jealously.
Yeah, you close it out with Chicago again. It's not an easy schedule outside of the Reds. So this is where you're gonna really prove your worth in this month. And if the offense doesn't start clicking, what a bad, this could go south quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially.
You can't rely on, sorry.
No, go ahead.
You can't rely on Gausman and not walk anybody for the whole season, just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Or give up no.
Yeah. It's, if the offense doesn't heat up soon, it will be concerning because the pitching will regress, and we'll touch on that in a second. I personally believe as soon as Teoscar gets back and hopefully Danny Jansen or just one more guy offensively heats up near the bottom half of the order, whether that's Chapman or Kirk or anybody like that, then they'll be fine. Because it's interesting, they showed the stats on Sportsnet last night for the offense, and they're near the top half, if not in the top 7 for quite a bit of offensive categories. Obviously, home runs is one of them. But they're, as I think you mentioned it, Chris, before we started, they are near dead last in hitting with runners in scoring position. And I think that's partly to do with how shortened the lineup is, because you're getting guys on base. Vlad's getting on base. Springer's getting on base. But as soon as you get past Lourdes at this point in the lineup, after 4, it is very hot and cold with guys who sometimes will come up with hits like Chapman. Kirk hasn't really done much. Kirk doesn't even have an extra base hit yet. I mean, that's concerning enough as it is. So hopefully when they get back, maybe as soon as Thursday when they play Cleveland, I know, again, they have good pitching, but I'm going to start to say within the next couple of weeks, the offense will start to click with some worse pitching staffs coming through. Doesn't mean they won't face tough pitching, but more often than not, there'll be better pitchers to hit.
But to that point, if they start facing some crummier pitching, there's a chance that they do catch that fire and just continue to truck through all those other good pitchers again. Right now, they're just sitting and hoping something is going to happen. And that's not happening in baseball in general, let alone in our lineup right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, let's go on to the next topic. And that is the fact that Kevin Gausman is pitching at a historical level. And we can touch on some other guys too, who have been really good. But the fact that he has gone 41 innings it was without allowing a home run or a walk has been simply incredible. He has been, in my mind, better than advertised. Not that I didn't expect he would be way worse than he has, but I don't think anybody saw this coming. The fact that you don't even walk or give up a home run is super impressive. So, I mean, you got Gosman doing what he's doing. You have Alek Manoah doing what he continues to do. Jose Barrios seems to have righted the ship since his first couple rough starts. And then you're getting what you get from Stripling, which is pretty good for a bullpen day, and hopefully Kikuchi picks it up a little bit. But Gosman and Manoah continue to go back and forth on who is number 1 or 1A. And that's a very good problem to have, especially as other guys continue to potentially regress. But Adam, I'll start with you on this one. I mean, it's kind of hard to say that Kevin Gosman hasn't done anything but exceed your expectations. It's also probably hard to say that this is what you expected. But going off of that, how long do you think he'll go before allowing a walk or a home run? Because he seems really locked in, like even better than last year so far. And as the season continues, he's obviously not going to keep up this level of production, but can you expect him to continue to be a legitimate number 1?
By the law of the baseball gods, because we're talking about it, his next start, he's going to get rocked.
Screwed it up.
Yeah.
What is it, Friday? But he's definitely going to give up a home run, or he's definitely going to walk someone in the month of May. It's just, I mean, if he doesn't, I'll give you each a shiny quarter. But
That's all you got.
yeah, it's all dad life. But for me, I think, Craig, you said it's a really good problem to have 2 pitchers. It's not even a problem. It's a really good rotation to have when you have a guy like Manoah who just seems unbeatable, who seems so confident. And it's a little different than last season, where it looked a little bit more like a Marcus Stroman type of confidence, where it was just he was a little cocky. This year, he seems a little bit more reserved in his confidence, and he's letting his playing talk for himself. I think he's been outstanding. But Gosman, to me, is that veteran piece that you needed in this rotation. He's exactly what we wanted. And Brendan, we're seriously not poking at you. He's exactly what we wanted Ryu to be in 2020.
I don't know about that. I think you're poking.
No, I'm not. Like, we wanted that veteran.
He was in 2020 though.
But he wasn't this good.
He was pretty damn good in 2020, man.
Who, Gosman?
No, Ryu.
Oh.
But I don't know that he was this unstoppable.
No, like it wasn't like the walk thing and home runs, but like he was that anchor in a very
crappy
rotation.
Yeah. And also a shortened season. So, that notwithstanding, I think that when you have a guy like that in your rotation as a veteran leader, it sort of takes the pressure away from guys like Ryu when he returns, Barrios when he now that he's starting to cruise, or even Stripling to a lesser degree. You just know that those games are going to be, yes, they've been dogfights, but at the same time, we're going to have the upper hand. Same thing with Manoah, dude. I just, spoiler alert, he's been the one that's impressed me the absolute most. He's been outstanding. So sustainable. I don't know that you're going to get, I don't think any of us believe that we're going to get this level of production. No. They're going to have some bad ones that they're going to cough up. But I think, Chris, you said that Manoah is going to be top 2 in Cy Young voting. Yeah, I can see that.
I thought you went all the way. I thought you said he was going to win the Cy Young.
I didn't say he was. No, I never said that he was going to win. I gave myself the buffer. I said that he would be top 3, but I was willing.
Yeah.
I was. Yeah, I said he was going to be top 3, and I'd be willing to go top 2. So that gives me the win and the runner up just to cover my ass. You can't get greedy. You can't call 2 Cy Young winners in a row. Yeah, you can't call 2 Cy Young winners in a row. That's just unfair.
If you do, you need to get your own damn show, is what I'm hearing. Because
had one.
You clearly have outplayed your play at platform.
Or start getting paid for your takes.
Yeah.
There it is.
I think Manoah
at least bet in Vegas if that happens, man.
If I'm going to bank on, and this might be controversial, if I'm going to bank on who's the likeliest candidate to, or most likely to continue this sort of production, I'm leaning Manoah. Not that I don't believe in Gosman. It's just I'm seeing something in Manoah. Like the movement on his pitches are just filthy. It's incredible. So I would be happy with both or either. Yeah, I think so. I think so. And he played their hand last year, like forced them basically. Well, I mean, they sort of didn't have a choice but to bring him up. But I think, yeah, he's been incredible. And I think, I don't know, I think of the two, his production is the most sustainable. Not that I don't believe in Gosman. I think he's still going to be great. But I think Manoah is the true ace of this team.
I do have to ask a question to all of you. So the last time the Blue Jays had a rotation with this kind of a 1-2 punch in it, and I'm talking more in the ballpark that we actually have a 1-2-3. Does anybody want to play on who that might have been or who I'm thinking anyways?
Burnett and Halladay?
Halladay, Burnett.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So it's been a bit. Just saying. And
the 2016 one was really good, though, too. I mean, maybe not as dominant at the top end, but just overall consistency from 5 and even 6 guys when they got Liriano. That
2016 was the best overall rotation this team I think I've ever seen. And that's saying something. There's some good staffs. But as far as a dominant force and a 1-2 punch like that, I don't think you can go outside of it. I think it was 2013 that Burnett and Halladay were just trucking people. Was it 2013? I think so.
2013? No. He was gone.
No, 2013 was a fucking disaster.
2013.
That was the Marlins. Okay. Why am I thinking of?
No. I think Halladay was Halladay and Burnett was 07?
08.
06?
08. That was Halladay's last year.
Yeah. So, but either way, that rotation was something fun to watch with those two going back to back every day, and that's what we got right now. And then, like I said, we're throwing another guy right into it with Manoah. Barrios has been on fire. Gosman looks good.
Yeah.
You hope for the best for the other two guys, and I think we'll be okay.
Craig, would you agree with Adam's take that of the two, Manoah's the likelier to keep this level of performance up, or do you think Gosman will match him neck and neck?
I think it's going to be a battle between the two of them all year. The one thing I think that's going to catch up to Gosman eventually is I think that the word in the American League will get out on some of his stuff eventually. And I'm wondering if that ball isn't going to have the same bite on that splitter come,
it's beautiful.
August, So I think the difference between the two of them in just pure stuff, Manoah's built like a workhorse to do this, where, I think Gosman will fatigue a little bit over the course of the season more than Manoah will. So I think the later part of the season is going to look a little different for the two of them. I think they're both going to finish great, so don't jump on me, Blue Jays fans. But it's something different as far as Manoah's is just free and easy. He's literally just goofing around and going out there and throwing a baseball at almost 100 miles an hour. Where Gosman, it seems like he has to work for it. That's basically my argument.
It's a different type of swagger, right? I feel like Manoah has his confidence is, for lack of a better way to put it, it's not Marcus Stroman level juvenile, but it is that youthful confidence. Whereas Gosman has veteran confidence.
Yes,
correct.
Yeah.
My shenanigans are cheeky and fun, and
yeah.
Chris, which side do you lean on? Who are you going with to be the better of the two by the end of the season, between Gosman and Manoah?
I don't want to have a side. I want a dogfight.
That's why he says Robbie Ray. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, I want a dogfight straight to the end. Like, why wouldn't you as Blue Jay fan and kind of seeing what's going on? Because sure as shit as well that these guys are looking down the dugout or looking at the other guy on the mound going, I can do that too, right? It's just the way competitors work is anything you can do, I can do better. So why not have it? Hey, maybe Manoah is number 2 only to Kevin Gosman, and Kevin Gosman wins. Who knows?
Either way, I'm strangely okay with it.
Yeah, I see. I do kind of agree with the other guys that I do see maybe a little bit more regression in Gosman than I do Manoah. But I don't think much. I don't think much, if a lot at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to see the dogfight. I don't want to go on a side in this. And I would love to see Barrios get in on the action too, and
I think it's
and
close.
get in on some fun. He's getting close, and he's probably looking up and down saying, hey, I got that big contract too, and I'm supposed to be the guy. I got the ball on opening night.
Yeah.
That didn't go exactly to plan, but I'm supposed to be the big dog in this organization. I have the 7-year contract, not these guys.
Yeah.
So,
but at that point, he's officially flipping the script pretty well on that part already. So if he continues running with that, Chris, you're going to look pretty damn good about getting him in that dogfight.
mhm.
Yeah. Now Barrios can put together some really hot stretches and hot months and whatnot, and I do expect that to come. If I had to go with somebody just based on efficiency alone, each inning, it's Gosman. I mean, the fact that he can consistently so far throw like 10 pitches or less per inning is why he's been going 7 and 8 and even into the 9th against the Red Sox. If Manoah, however, starts putting guys away faster and starts going deeper, because he's done 6 in all 3 of his outings so far, and that's perfectly fine.
Well,
with
he
the way this
went
bullpen has been.
7, almost 8 in the one, did he not?
No, I don't think so.
Oof.
He
showed on the
definitely
Blue
threw
Jays.
7 innings once.
He might have started
Yeah.
the 7th, from what I remember. I do remember the first 3 were for sure 6 innings. But if he starts putting guys away fast, and like his ceiling is growing, and it's still growing like crazy. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I really, really enjoyed watching Gosman pitch. I don't know, maybe because I like a good redemption story, and I remember when he was an
Yeah.
Oriole, in like 2016 especially, I wanted Gosman to be the guy the Blue Jays faced in the wild card game because he was coming off such a terrible season, and Tillman was still okay at the time too, and the fact that he got DFA'd as recently as 2019 or 2018, and then just rediscovered himself in San Francisco. I always have a soft spot for stories like that and coming back and putting it all together, because he was a very highly touted prospect when he came up with Baltimore. And he had one really good year, maybe even 2, but for the most part, it was pretty up and down. So I do believe, though, it'll be neck and neck towards the end of the season. I think you could make a case either one of them could be the better one at season's end, and that's a very good problem to have. And hopefully Barrios is not too far behind them. So it's been fun to watch them both, and even Barrios lately has been fun to watch too.
Watching
Just on
this
that
highlight
note,
of him strike out Aaron Judge is pretty damn fun, just saying.
Yeah.
oh yeah. On that note, so Gosman's, I think he's leading the team in innings pitched, and also he's gone 8 against Boston, and Manoah has only gone 7.
Oh, he's gone 7. Okay.
He's gone 7.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
He's going at
was gonna
least
say
6
he's
in
got
every start.
Right.
4.
Yeah.
He's pitched. Yeah, he's pitched in 4 games, and he has 25 innings pitched, so he had
Yes.
to have gotten into 7
Okay.
once.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that makes
Most
sense.
recently against Boston.
Right. Okay. But yeah, no, it's been a great start for both of them, and hopefully some of the other guys start picking it up too.
Yeah.
So moving on from the rotation of the bullpen, because that has kind of been, as we started with the show, that has also been a very bright spot of this team so far. Obviously, a couple games have been coughed up. Opening day wasn't the greatest for the bullpen or the starter. A couple blown saves. But for the most part, they've been rock solid, and they've had to be in these one-run games. And Jordan Romano has been the beneficiary of all those one-run games, because he's got 11 saves so far this season, which leads the league ahead of Josh Hader. And he was announced as the American League reliever of the month for the AL. So it's been a historically good start for Jordan Romano. But when you go back and look at this month as a whole, because I think we all said, looking at the schedule, if you could be 15 and 15 or 16 and 14 at one point after this tough stretch, and that includes this Yankees series, we'd be thrilled with that. But they're going to be better than that by the end of the season, or by the end of the series. So when you go back and look at the month of April as a whole, and you can count the Sunday Astros game,
Yeah.
Why don't I start with you, Craig? Who would you pick for pitcher of the month for the Toronto Blue Jays staff? I know we kind of maybe have nailed it down to 2 guys, but you can go with Romano too if you want. You can go with an unsung reliever out of the bullpen, whichever way you want to go. Who has been your pitcher of the month for the Blue Jays in April?
With all these close games, I don't know how I can give it to anybody but Jordan Romano. He's literally been the reason he coughed up 1. There's 1 blown save for him on the season, but the fact that he leads the majors with 11, and how many close games have we played? Oh yeah, that's right. Every game we played this year has been a close game except for 2. So the fact that he's been able to keep us in those games to the point where we can come back and win and take it and just watching him slam the door and come in with the awesome like wrestler entrance that he has in Toronto and everything now. So I gotta give it to Jordan Romano.
Chris?
Yeah, Romano's been good. A lot better than what I had predicted at the beginning of the season. But I think the name that gets kind of lost in all of this, or probably two names that get lost in a lot of this, are Tim Mason and Adam Simber.
Boom.
It's very strange as well, because every time I see Simber start warming up, I start freaking out a little bit, because
It's the legs, dude.
well,
It's those huge feet.
It's not even it's not even the legs or anything. It's just that, like, when he was coming in, who did he pitch last night? And I sent you guys that message that, like, yeah, because he was coming in to face LeMahieu, Judge, and Rizzo, and like that, it shouldn't work. It shouldn't work. They should be launching home runs on the front street, and somehow he gets it done every time. And to go on to the other side, like Tim Meza, holy shit, Tim Meza coming out of literally nowhere after returning from injury last year. Like, it was basically between him and Francisco not Francisco Lindor. Liriano. That's it. And the whole spring training, I was convinced that Meza was going to get cut and Liriano was going to be on the team. And thank God I was proven wrong on that, because he has been no short of amazing since he's been around. And I think he deserves especially a lot of credit. Been impressed with Garcia as well. Same with Richards. The whole bullpen as a whole, I just hope that we don't burn them out too early.
Yeah. Adam?
Well, I was gonna go Meza, but Chris
and he thought he was going down for the B team for that one, so you might as well take Gosman and like drool all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard for me to pick anybody outside of Gosman and Manoah in the starting rotation. You could say Barrios just because he's rebounding quite well, but I'm gonna go with an opposite route. I think I'm gonna stick with my take on Meza.
Aaron Oliver.
No, I'm just
Aaron Oliver.
Pat Hankin retired too. Just saying.
Yeah, I just think Meza gets a bad rep just because of the history that he's had, and just he hasn't always been reliable, and it's yet to be seen if we can consider him reliable still at this point. But it's looking good.
His biggest piece is that he's consistently improving.
Yeah.
I mean, expected him to even be doing what he's doing right now, taking high leverage stuff. So if he keeps going, right,
the stuff is there.
Yeah.
But are we? I'll say this, and maybe this is unfair, Chris. The way you are with Simber, I mean, it's lessened. But I kind of get that way with Romano a little bit. Like, I'm just waiting for the wheels to fall off because I just feel like it's coming.
Why? Because he's Canadian?
No.
You had to say it.
No, I mean,
you think he's gonna go full Jason Frazier?
I just think it's something.
You have to sell your seat.
I worry about. I guess velocity is not so much a concern. It's just the history isn't there with him as being consistently reliable as a closer. And I wonder if not having, and we've harped on the Nate Pearson train a lot, but are we just going to rely on Romano to close out games? And if he's not going to do it, it's going to be Simber. I mean, like, I think to your point, Chris, this bullpen is set up to be gassed really soon, really quickly, if that's the case. And I don't know. I like the production that Romano's been offering. There's something about it that makes me white knuckle the couch every time he's out there. And maybe it's because of how close these games are. And
it's probably mostly that.
Yeah, he's.
Are you worried of the fact that even like Jimmy Garcia has even had some issues the last couple times he's went out and stuff like that, or are you just?
I mean, I anticipate that. I mean, that's like par for the course.
If Romano keeps on this streak, like do you think he can sustain 65 to 70 appearances
No.
in a year.
Oh, no.
No.
I don't think so.
No. So if that, I mean,
It's a
if
pacey
you
style.
have a
Basically, yeah.
bullpen that, like, once the Sauce comes back, once Pearson comes back, I don't even think you're gonna need it, especially if the offense wakes up. Like that, it all circles
that's the
back to if
biggest
the
thing right
offense
there.
is going to
100%.
wake up, and if they do, you're not gonna need Romano for that many. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
No.
Because
But who
that's
do
bad for
you
offense.
lose out of the bullpen once Pearson gets into the mix?
It's a good question. There hasn't
And
been
then what do
any-
you do with Ryu and
hasn't been-
Stripling?
any outstanding candidate from the bullpen right now to be the obvious one that goes.
I just dropped one of them during the roster decimation thing.
Well, it
Going
can't
down to
be.
the 25, 26 man
Yeah.
roster.
Stripling can't go anywhere
No, he's
No,
still
No,
going.
and he's earned a
He
team
can't.
roster spot regardless on this
for the
team.
rest of
So,
the year. Yeah, especially if we're gonna do the 6 days rest bullshit with
Definitely.
you need Stripling.
It would take a Tyler Chatwood-esque decline to get somebody
Yeah.
like him off this roster.
Um
I'm trying to pull the 40 man or the active roster.
active
up right
roster
now.
right now.
This team is so bad with runners in scoring position right now. Like it doesn't even look like they're trying to work it count.
They've always been. Dude.
They're just
the
blindly
home run.
swinging. Sorry. Yeah, Chapman's gonna make me eat my words now. Anywho, carry on.
Yeah. So right now, this bullpen currently has Andrew Vasquez still in it, Trent Thornton, who's honestly been salvageable.
Thornton's been
all right. Yeah.
It's gonna probably come down to Julian Merriweather or Vasquez.
How many options
right
does
now-
Merriweather have?
Probably
Merriweather's
has a
got
few still.
He's got
because
one.
all those
One?
ones were injuries, so he's got at least one.
He's just got one, Chris?
I think he's only got. At the beginning of the year, I was under the impression that he didn't have any, and that's why he had to make the team last year.
Who, Merriweather?
Merriweather, but
I thought he was legit.
been
was allowed
more
on the team last year.
but I've been more recently corrected and apparently and told that no, he has one. So
I'm looking it up now. Because if he
Oh,
has one,
that's
you can't do it. You can't burn it.
No, I agree.
mm-mm.
And
It might have
that's
to
why
be-
you'll send Vasquez down because
Yeah.
they
Well, but
already did that once.
well, yeah, he would have to be DFA'd now, Vasquez. I'm pretty sure because he only had the one option.
Yeah, but I don't think you're missing a whole lot.
No. Then there's a reason why he's barely.
Oh
benched.
my God, Chapman.
Yo, you are correct, Chris. He only has one option.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're not going to
And
do it.
You can't burn it.
No.
But Craig, to your point, I agree. Like if I were to pinpoint someone that you could afford to if he had more options, just based on the pedigree and based on the notion that he's still young, he could still pick it up at a later date just to get right in the minors, it would be Merriweather.
Yeah.
But you can't burn it with one option. You just can't.
Agreed. That'll be a
I'm
fascinating
assuming
decision.
Trent Thornton also has some because now if you let's say
Trent Thornton
you
has
get to
two.
that point. Too,
Yeah, so actually maybe
it
it's
might just
Trent.
be him by default and expendability. You know what I mean?
Yep. Vasquez
'Cause-
has one.
Yeah.
They need to over the next week. They need to try to find a way to get Vasquez in some games to see if that's something he actually can do. Is he was pitching pretty good for the Bisons before they called him up. That's why they called him up.
And it was a major league deal they gave him too. So they obviously see something in him that they want to explore a little bit more, in my mind. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Adam, you went with Mesa as your guy for
Yeah, and
pitcher
I
of the
have,
month?
I have
Like,
concerns with the longevity of Romano. Not the production now, but just the longevity of it.
yeah, no, that makes sense. I was gonna say Jimmy Garcia until recently. Not that
Until
I'm
2
concerned
games
about
ago.
it long term, but Garcia is definitely up there in terms of arms that have impressed me. I know I've talked him up a whole bunch before, so this might not be a surprise, but I've really loved David Phelps' stability again.
Yeah.
He's picked up right where he left off from last year when he tore the lat muscle off of his shoulder completely, or wherever the lat muscle is.
Oof.
Like, it was a freak injury and whatnot, but the fact that he can you can pitch him in the 5th and the 6th and throw him out there for multiple innings. If you were in a pinch, you could probably have him in the 7th or the 8th too. He's just that reliable. He's that good pound strike sound. So Garcia and Phelps, just to be different from you guys, probably are the two that, in my mind, have stabilized the bullpen. But starting pitcher wise, I'll probably go Gosman for pitcher of the month. It's just been so fun to watch. The split is really good, and I still want to see what his finger looks like after a game because he loves blisters. The complete opposite of Aaron Sanchez and Rich Hill. He loves blisters. So yeah, it's going to be curious to see, and this actually rolls in nicely to the next topic because we've already started talking about it, is Nate Pearson. And it seems like he is on the comeback trail. And what they said over the weekend, I believe, that they're building him up to be a starter's workload for the purpose of whichever need is greatest at the time, whether that's in the bullpen or if they need a starter, he could go into the rotation. I don't want him in the rotation. I'd prefer him as a 2 or 3 inning reliever to start saving some of these arms a little bit. Because if you're built up, take some of those innings away from Garcia, take some of them away from Romano, and make it 2 or 3 inning saves for Nate Pearson. So, Chris, in terms of the guys coming back, Pearson, Teoscar, and Ryu. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious which way we'd rank these guys in terms of most impactful, the least impactful, and Danny Jansen too, absolutely. Out of those 4, rank them in terms of most excited to get them back to least excited to get them back. And I think I know who probably is number 1 and who would be number 4.
Teoscar, Pearson, don't really care about Jansen, doesn't matter. And Ryu doesn't matter, but he's owed too much money, so what the fuck are you going to do with him?
Yeah.
That's about it. Like, you need you need Teoscar in the lineup clearly to add protection behind Vlad so they at least attempt to pitch to him.
Yeah.
And the torrid pace that Teoscar was on before he was injured, like he was the Kickstarter of the offense. And they probably missed him in the dugout. He's been missing for a couple of days now. So,
Adam?
Teoscar's got to rank up there, number 1. I guess I gave a whole diatribe about the importance of Nate Pearson in the bullpen, so I'm going to go with that too. So we're going to go offense, Nate Pearson, basically. I don't necessarily think Ryu is really missing right now. Sorry, Brennan.
No, that's fine. It's the truth.
Like they're better off. They're better off at this point. To be honest.
I agree. Give me the sauce. I'll put sauce at third. You know, just stabilize that. Give me the sauce.
You like Saucedo?
Yeah, give me the sauce. We need more bullpen arms.
You were in Ryu rehab for too long. Adam's been on the sauce train for a long time now.
Oh boy,
yeah. Sauce.
So
that's it.
So to that point, he might need some sauce rehab in the very near future too.
No. He's on the 10-day IL.
I like him too. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I like him too. Don't get me wrong. But as far as those other guys, wow. So, but to that point, I'm even gonna go a little bit. Obviously, we're all in agreement. So I think that Teoscar is the biggest piece that we would need to get back.
Yes.
I think that's kind of unanimous. After that, just because the offense has been so lacking and Zach Collins has been proven mortal, I want Danny Jansen back, and I just think that puts the whole catching core DH plan, all that stuff that we've been just basically throwing at that position back into the realm of reality. It puts Kirk and Jansen back in the dynamic they were in spring training. We actually saw Danny Jansen putting up some offense, which was a continuation of last year. And the fact that, like I said, we get Tyler Hinneman off his lineup. Go ahead and keep Zach Collins around if you want, just for the left-handed bat that has some pop and has proven useful. Don't really have a ton of other options, especially after the Blue Jays definitely are not getting Dexter Fowler anytime soon at the major league level. So that was the other random thing we were holding out for. And then I'll give you a wash between Pearson and Ryu at that point, the 3-4 spots as far as ranks, because I think the bullpen's doing okay right now. But if the offense doesn't kick up like we were talking about, then you're really going to need somebody like Pearson in the back of that bullpen to be able to just chew up some innings, or get somebody hopefully returning to form in Ryu coming back to the rotation and being a few more innings than the Russ stripling 2 times through the lineup roulette.
Let me ask you this. What is more pressing to you, Craig? Having Danny Jansen come back or calling up Moreno? I'd rather see Moreno.
I would like to see Moreno too, but I'm also in that ballpark. We've been throwing so much random crap at the catching spot right now. I would just like to see if Jansen can earn and run away with that spot for a few weeks before I go up emergency button, bam,
Yeah.
bring up Moreno.
Can we slap the injury prone label on Jansen yet? I think it's fair.
I don't think that's unfair. I'm definitely not going to disagree with you on that. But to that point, that he was trending in the right direction, and we know that the pitching staff loves throwing to him and Kirk. He's got to come back this time for being healthy and run with it. If he gets hurt again, fine. Then I'm pressing that emergency button and bringing Moreno up. That is
okay.
Like
fair.
I said, an emergency plan to me right now. As much as I would love to see it happen tomorrow, and mind you, I love watching the kid. I think the kid's going to be insanely good. I want him to be brought up for the right reasons, not for the fact that it's like, okay, great, we can't find anybody to be the 9th hitter in our lineup. Bring him up. You know what I mean? I don't want to see him being thrown into the same thing Manoah got thrown into in our pitching rotation. Because he's younger, I would assume. I haven't seen as much, footage of him as far as interviews or anything go. I don't know his maturity level versus we knew what we were kind of getting with Manoah in that situation of just being thrown to the wolves, literally thrown to the Yankees this first start. That's why I'm in the ballpark of just, if this offense is completely struggling and you're looking for that next catalyst when you have Jansen and Teoscar back in this lineup and we can't still make that next move, boom, do it. There's no reason not to at that point.
I think good on you for having the patience. I'm just done. I know there's potential there, maybe, but we said it in the preseason. Like, you have to show me something. You have to say it. To me, it's no different than Cavan. You have to show me something, and you haven't. Yes, you have COVID and you're on the IL. Sorry, bud. Sorry. Like, show me something. And if
you're gone, your job's gone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And it's not like his job is gone. It's not. It is there waiting for him. Moreno's not on the roster right now. But I think, given that the front office is having the mentality of all hands on deck, and given that, the tweet I sent, this is sort of related. The tweet that I sent you guys from, was it Hector Gomez, about Ramirez almost being traded? We would think to be the Blue Jays, is that it leads me to believe that this front office isn't going to wait on things, right? They're not going to tiptoe with service time and stuff. So if it means, it's not an issue anymore because it's after May 1st, but if it means this offense needs a surge, whether or not Danny Jansen's ready, who else are you calling up? Or Elvis? Like, who else are you calling up?
Yeah, nobody. It'd be Moreno.
Yeah. Or Elvis has cooled right down as well.
Yeah. And to that point, Moreno even has to a point. I know you just got the luxury of seeing him the other day.
He was great.
He was great, but he's batting 275 now, where he was batting
he was DHing that day too.
Well, he these 4 doubles that are on his roster or on his stat line right now for playing in Buffalo have been there for over 2 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what his extra base hits have been over the last 2 weeks, but it looks like he's either focusing more on his defensive game over the last couple of weeks and the bat's suffering for it, or just legit, he's having a little bit of a dry spell at the plate. What it is. But my philosophy on that whole thing I was telling you about was based on the fact that he has cooled down some.
Sure.
He doesn't look like he's setting the world on fire. He is looking like he belongs in AAA a little bit at this point. Yes, he's an exceptional AAA player, making that next piece up, but he's not lighting the world on fire to the point where it's like you have to.
He's not forcing their hand.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
And I kind of want him to do that.
I do too. Yeah. That's a really good question to think of, Adam. I'm leaning with Craig. I would like to see Jansen again. I think the start that he got off, even though it was super brief, has bought him plenty of time in my mind. And just going back to the rankings, Teoscar is by far and away number 1. I also am with you, Craig. I would put Jansen number 2 because that just lengthens your lineup like crazy if you get Teoscar back and Jansen picks up where he left off, hopefully. And
as designed.
That means, yeah, exactly. And that means you can slide Chapman down into the 7th spot. You can slide Gurriel down a little bit, keep Espinal in the 6th or the 8th spot. And your lineup is looking really, really good with all those guys back. And no more Raimel Tapia batting cleanup or 5th or 6th anymore. And that's the way it should be. But yeah,
he shouldn't even be in the lineup.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. He should be the guy that's spelling everybody every few days or something like that. And that's
Yeah.
about it, right?
Yeah.
Pinch runner.
Has anybody heard roughly what the timeline for Jansen is? Because he started to swing and whatnot, but he's still much further off than Teoscar. It's not like a return is imminent for Jansen.
I read today that he took from Hazel May right before we actually went on that he took live batting practice from the fast pitch machine today, and they were going to evaluate him again tomorrow. So that was the first time he had taken it regular past BP level stuff. So the fact that he was doing it on a high velocity machine for it the first time, it means he's dialing it up to game speed, right?
I'm going to say if that went well, they send him out on a rehab assignment and he joins them when they go to Tampa. Not this weekend, but next weekend, because he probably
a week behind, right? Teoscar, right?
That's my guess too.
At least.
Yeah, it's all good stuff with those guys coming back. It just helps like crazy. Hopefully it lights a spark into the offense. But I think Teoscar coming back for this Cleveland series is going to help a ton. I really do. It lengthens the lineup like crazy. I actually don't think the catcher position has been necessarily missing Jansen. They've gotten by with some hot streaks from Zach Collins. They need Kirk to pick it back up and fast. Like the fact that he doesn't have an extra base hit yet, if that doesn't change in the next couple weeks, then you have to really sit down and think what you got to do with Alejandro Kirk.
He's starting to hit the ball
send
hard
him down and
last
bring
week.
him Moreno.
I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, Kirk was, I'm not going to say rushed, but he kind of was in 2020.
Oh, he was.
Absolutely. So,
and that's the opposite case of what I was talking about with Moreno. You rush him and break him.
Yeah.
But
so with that, now that we probably will have Teoscar back at some point this week, and hopefully as soon as Thursday, if not maybe by Friday, Saturday. We got 4 at Cleveland this week, and then 2 at Yankee Stadium Tuesday, Wednesday next week. It's a night game Tuesday, afternoon game Wednesday, which will suck because they have the off day Thursday, I believe, which will feel like 2 off days with an afternoon game on Wednesday. But regardless, let's go through and pick our predictions for the Blue Jays record.
Just sorry to interrupt right now, Brendan. Kirk just got his first extra base
double.
Yes,
he just got a double.
I have broken the Kirk curse.
As I said, he had been hitting the ball hard over the last few games. I was waiting for it to happen. So
he finally roofed it from first to second. Like he waddled right over there. It was good.
Good. That ain't good. Maybe that gets him going, and maybe
the
he can carry
went
that
off.
into Cleveland.
It was great.
There you go.
Craig, let's start with you, and we'll go around the horn here. 4 at Cleveland, and I just took a look. It looks like it'll be Thursday. Jose Barrios against Aaron Savale, who's off to a terrible start, like a 10.67 ERA, terrible start. Then you get Shane Bieber on Friday, who will be tough against Kevin Gausman. That will be a fun pitching matchup to watch.
It's gonna be a fun night.
Bieber. Saturday
hasn't been good this year either, though.
Yeah, he
Bieber's
has.
been very spurtsy.
Yeah, 2.45 ERA, 29 strikeouts.
I thought it was very good.
And then
I think all those earned runs in were the one start, though. If that's to Chris's point.
That could be it.
Tristan McKenzie on Saturday, who's also been pretty good this season, and that would line up to be Stripling, and then Manoah on Sunday. So Craig, 4 against Cleveland, 2 at Yankee Stadium. What is your record prediction?
As much as I don't want to say it, I think there's enough going on in Cleveland that they're going to somehow split that series with Cleveland. And then I think we're going to take a split again, unfortunately, against the damn Yankees in New York, especially after last night. I don't know what the Yankees have figured out over the last 10 days, but there's something going on there, and I still don't understand it. To me, this is not to me, it's not. It's a team that has flaws, and they're getting a lot of performance out of veterans that are getting older. I'm pointing right at Anthony Rizzo with that. Just saying.
Look at the teams they beat in that win streak, though. Tigers, Orioles, and some other, and the Royals. It's not been good.
I get it. I'm just saying I don't even understand the 10-game winning streak. That even regardless of that fact, because those two of those teams are on the rise that you just mentioned, and the Tigers have been sneaky good regardless of their record, I think. But to that point, I have a bad feeling about those 2 games in New York, so I think we're going to split it. And the Guardians' offense, regardless of what you were just saying, of those pitchers that we are going to be lined up again, they are doing what the Blue Jays were expected to be doing. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, aren't they in the top 3 for the major league runs scored, or at least they were a couple weeks ago when I was looking at it. they've been Jose Ramirez is everything we wanted him to be. He's just not in our damn lineup. So, like I said, I unfortunately think we're going to walk out of this week with a split period always. So it'll be 3-3.
Chris?
Sorry, I have no sound on the ball game right now, and I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on because Charlie's out there.
Espinal chirped at the first base umpire on a check swing called strike.
Yeah. Did he get tossed? What the fuck why is Charlie out there right now?
I think he did.
Charlie's probably the one that got tossed just like he did when he was protecting Vlad.
No. He was just talking to the umpire, and now they were getting together. Or they tried to get interference on the catcher.
Maybe that's what the chirping was about.
Yep. No. The chirping was for Espinal. I think this is for catcher's interference. Gotcha. Anywho, back to what you were saying, Brendan. 3-1 against the Guardians, the Clevelands, and 2-2 against the Yankees.
Still the worst team in worst named team in baseball, in my opinion.
Guardians.
Yeah. Adam, what's your record prediction?
I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say 3-1 in Cleveland and split with the Yankees. And can we just talk about this dope 6:10 start time on Saturday?
Yes, that is.
Oh, okay, Pop.
Let's talk about it.
Thursday too.
Yes,
the Adam Corsair time slot.
They're listening to me in Cleveland. They're trying to lure me in to be a Guardians fan.
They need the support they can get. I unfortunately am with you, Craig. I'm going to go 3-3 over the course of the next couple games. I think they'll lose the Bieber game. The McKenzie one will be tough too, but they'll win the other two on Thursday. And then 1-1 at Yankee Stadium. So 3-3. All right, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mr. Pix-a-Click. I wasn't on last week's show, so I'm assuming I got my default guy, which I already forget who that is. But
I think your default guy's hurt.
So my active player default.
Right now it says TBD, so it's player to be named later, right? Where it says box of beer.
Let's go over it. Who was it?
Springer got first base.
Yes, he did.
Also, they challenged catcher's interference. I saw the tweet from Wilner.
And he got first.
Oh, nice.
So that worked out.
So who are our defaults? If I'm mistaken,
Kirk.
Brendan, yours was for you.
Yeah.
Chris, yours was Kikuchi?
Yeah, Kikuchi.
Apparently.
Mine was Cavan and yours is Kurt. Okay, so no, that makes sense. And half of those guys are hurt.
Yeah, exactly. So it's an automatic loss no matter what.
Yeah. It's an automatic loss for Mr. Brendan then. So I do have to. I'm going to leave this one because we actually didn't. I forgot to. In my infinite wisdom, I forgot to put the vote up for who won the week before. We had Springer, Lourdes, Manoah, and Chapman, and Manoah ended up having two good starts.
It's like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, to me, it would have been between Springer and Manoah, just intuitively.
And I think that was actually literally the argument we were talking about, and we were saying that Springer really had the two key hits.
Right.
Yeah, but Manoah went 7.
And that's why I'm thinking that I have to circle you, Mr. Corsair, on that last week.
Yeah,
with Alec Manoah.
If you pick a starter and they have two good starts where you win both of those games, I'd probably go Manoah too.
All right. So Adam's on the board. Brendan, you're the only one that's not on the board, and that didn't change. So last week I had Santiago Espinal. Chris, you had George Springer, and then Adam, you had Chappie. So
Springer.
We all did really well there, and then Springer's got to win. He's the only consistent one.
Look at him go! Look at him! Oh my God!
Is he out?
No. That was the funniest
scored?
fucking play I have ever seen.
Dude,
I guess I'm gonna have to catch the replay. Come on, Mr. Play-by-play guy, walk us through it.
You know when you watch
this is tweeting gold.
A black and white and it's sped up really fast. That's what Cal Kirk was running. He was running like a sped up version of Babe Ruth running.
Oh my God! Just look at his arms and legs are going so fast, but he's not going anywhere.
He should have been out.
Oh my God! The only reason that he even came close to scoring is because they bobbled the transfer on the relay.
So this
or else he was only a quarter of the way to home plate, and the ball was already in the infield.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're struggling to score runs, is you're sending Kirk in ill-advised times. And it wasn't even Louis Rivera sending him, it was Budzinski.
Yeah, because he's over there right now because isn't Rivera out on like a family matter or something, or is he just
He was a close contact.
That's
from
what it
Saudi.
was.
Positive.
That's what it was. So anyway, before the literal chaos that just
Yes.
broke out as the Blue Jays take the lead.
Yes.
It was
Okay.
fucking hilarious.
So, I did just pencil in Chris as the winner
Yeah.
with Mr.
Yes, you
Springer. Just
Yes.
saying. See,
Yeah.
there you
That
go.
means Chris get off with your pick.
Yeah. So that's 2 wins to Chris for the season, to Adam and Craig's ones. And Brendan, you better hurry up and get on the board, man.
I
So
know.
I guess you're technically in last place right now, so it's your pick.
No. Winner always picks. Winner always goes first.
Winner picks. That's what
Yes.
we've been doing.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. Then
Chris.
it's your show, and you can't pick Springer.
All right, I'll take Bo.
There you go.
Ballsy.
Good pick.
All right.
Adam.
This is proof of my rehab. I'm gonna go Espinal.
It's like you've made the amends. You've done this. You're on like step 12, right?
Yeah, I'm practicing what I preach.
No,
Craig,
Brendan
he's
could
got
just
us.
follow suit.
Yeah.
He's got SB. Who should I go for here?
Aaron Boone.
There you go. I think I'm going to pick Romano
Okay.
Nice.
because he has a chance to play in way too many close games over this next week with McKenzie,
Yeah.
Bieber, and more Yankees coming in.
And tonight it's 1-0 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah.
Romano.
I kind of want to go ballsy and take Teoscar to have an immediate.
I was just thinking that if you wanted to be really ballsy.
So what was
Yeah.
the cheat code? The cheat code. Brendan has lost 4 weeks in a row now. Was that what it was?
No, you have to win 3
You
in
have
a
to
row.
win.
I thought.
Yeah, to
Oh,
take
okay.
Vlad. No, you know what? I am gonna go ballsy and go Teo just because I'm
Let's
not on the
go.
board. I'm gonna do that, and hopefully that pays off.
Does his
So, yeah, Teo.
minor league home run tonight count?
No.
No.
Oh, they're showing the Kirk run again.
Yep.
Of course they are.
Dude,
It's
the
gold.
Blue Jays tweeted it.
God.
Oh, I gotta find that 'cause I haven't
That's
seen
what
it.
speed do. That's what speed do.
No, that is.
I gotta figure out how
gold.
I can get the Twitter feed stuff up for everybody up on the TV back here, so we can all have all that kind of fun.